Universities are modern learning hubs and have always been at the cutting edge. Generative AI has already arrived on campus.
We are in an era where technology exists for the first time, allows us humans to engage in thinking, to analyze, and even to decide. We have to reinvent ourselves, our exams, how we teach. The way learning happens, everything is changing. And this will present us with considerable challenges, but we'll manage.
Yes, I think generative AI is massively changing teaching and learning. If knowledge is omnipresent, accessible anytime at our fingertips, then aspects beyond mere knowledge dissemination become more important.
We expect artificial intelligence to influence almost all job profiles, and that means that being able to work confidently with these technologies will become a fundamental requirement, also for the entire range of subjects and naturally all degree programs.
In the process, the way we develop study programs is changing, and agility is becoming a crucial success factor. But how can this be achieved? Agile curriculum development.
Universities are places of experimentation, so we should be bolder and also use study programs and teaching formats as experimental fields. And in this spirit, we can use AI, rethink teaching formats, and be creative, and gradually develop study programs step by step in an agile way.
Agile program development. This includes a transformation of the entire academic workflow. And how do we teach this?
We expect artificial intelligence to influence almost all occupational profiles.
What does studying mean in a world where AI is always there? Do I need to learn to ask better questions instead of just knowing things? I want to understand it, not just click through. Where's the line? When does AI help me? And when does it begin to replace my thinking entirely?
Is co-creation with AI the new aim? Maybe it is not about making the human-machine system perfect, but about keeping it human.
Which AI competencies are truly relevant for my field? How do I integrate them into my study program, or is it added on top? And at which point in the curriculum?
In higher education, we have always fostered critical, reflective, and analytical skills. In today's world with AI, these abilities will become the most crucial competencies for the future.
What future skills we need for the AI era is something people are actively discussing right now. Ms. Alvarez is seeking the dialogue with colleagues and students to find out how learning can work in times of change, and to take all perspectives on the subject into account.
AI can be integrated into every module, and what I would recommend here, first of all, is to select a competence model and use that as the base. And then look at which individual components you would like to address in that course.
With AI Comp, we have developed a competence model specifically designed for the AI era. It goes far beyond purely technological competencies and integrates future skills for diverse contexts of life and work, as well as for participation in a changing society.
AI Comp is considered the first AI competence model in Germany, specifically for the higher education sector. It is structured into 3 levels: working and transforming, developing and reflecting, and finally shaping and collaborating. These comprise a total of 12 competency fields, representing the full range of knowledge, abilities, and mindsets required for interacting with AI.
The AI Comp model was developed together with many partners from academia and industry, and with the initiative AI Campus.
The model makes it very clear. It is not only about knowledge about AI, but about competences. About responsible and reflective engagement with AI.
Yes, and these competences bring together 3 dimensions. Firstly, it's about knowledge about AI. Then about the competent use of AI, and it is also about a critical and reflective mindset. Only then does real agency begin to develop.
Yes, but instructors and students also require methods to not only grasp this, but ultimately to apply it in everyday life. For instance, via projects or other practical situations.
Yes, only then does knowledge about AI become competence in dealing with AI.
We now know what is important. The real question now is, how do we translate this into our discipline, into learning and competence objectives? And how do we then embed these in our study programs?
But it should not just be added as a separate subject, but be embedded directly across all different modules.
By moving forward step by step, in an agile way, in small pilot projects. This is how we can best integrate competences along the way, what actually works.
Universities must learn to develop degree programs agilely, in small learning cycles.
The subsequent step involves collectively evaluating and analyzing the outcomes, followed by adopting a critical perspective, which you can also naturally develop together within a study group, so to speak, where one examines how the results can also be critically contextualized.
Agile curriculum development signifies viewing teaching and curriculum design as a continuous process. No longer in rigid sequences, but in iterative steps, with space for feedback, testing, and immediate adaptation. This way, the curriculum becomes a learning system.
Drawing on the philosophy of Agile development, we have selected 6 principles for degree program development. Here, the integrative and holistic approach plays a very central role, just like the participatory approach, meaning that all stakeholders and their perspectives are included, the teaching staff, the students, and partners from professional practice. And the incremental experimental approach ensures that valuable insights into what is effective, what is not, and where further adjustments are needed can be gained throughout the process.
Now, moving from principles to practice. Agile curriculum development starts with a common orientation. Which AI competencies are truly relevant in each subject? AI competencies are given priority mainly in areas where both professional need and a lack of skills converge. In the focus zone are the competencies that are prioritized in the degree program.
So here in the focus zone, we are looking at the competences we want to work with directly.
Exactly. That's where learning needs and professional necessities meet. So, basically, the competencies that we prioritize.
I would definitely place critical thinking within this focus zone. We don't want to be manipulated by AI, and this principle holds true for all academic disciplines. Political science, medicine, engineering. It applies to all fields.
Yes, but then critical digital competence must also be included to assess the benefits and challenges presented by artificial intelligence. Otherwise, critical thinking is too abstract.
Ethical competence needs to be considered alongside that as well. When we talk about AI, it's about responsibility. Biases and algorithms can always happen.
True. For some AI competencies, we already have modules and courses in the degree program.
Yes, like Professor Merton's computer science seminar. Here, students are already learning to evaluate results from artificial intelligence.
Good point. Something we already have, and something we can continue to develop further.
Based on the competences we've selected, we can now see where overlaps begin to emerge, and where there are still gaps.
Right. That's the idea of this phase. The aim is to jointly develop and identify the competences, and then to think about how they can best be integrated into the curriculum.
The team will, in the subsequent phase, develop learning objectives from the prioritized skills. You can find more information on the individual steps in the full materials download for Agile degree program development at aicomp.org/agile.
When learning objectives have been developed from the competencies, the next step is to develop tailored teaching formats for specific study programs. In this process, you can choose from a whole range of different ideas and concepts for teaching formats. For example, through a curricular import, a digital module from another university can be integrated into your own study program. Through design sprints, creative ideas, new approaches, and innovative transformative teaching formats can be developed. And polyvalent modules can also be used as well, meaning modules with integrated AI competences that already exist in other study programs at the same higher education institution.
What started in planning is now visible in the studies. New teaching formats integrate AI competences along the previously defined competency matrix, coordinated across all program modules. Teaching staff and students develop these steps together, on equal footing. They design, try out, and revise their concepts directly within everyday teaching practice. This shows how Agile curriculum development works. Iteratively, understandably, and learning, from conception through to implementation.
I believe that through AI, students can truly be empowered, enabled to think more and more deeply and critically. That may sound paradoxical at first, but that is precisely what it is not. Because when we use AI properly and understand it properly, then our space for thinking is expanded.
This is where Kim helps. What is Kim? Kim is a highly competent AI bot in guiding conversations. Kim can support students in reflecting more consciously and in greater depth on their own learning journey. Engage with them in dialogue about their own learning journey and thereby support students in reflecting on their own learning and on the development of their competences. So when we look at chatbots in everyday university life, we are mainly dealing with expert systems. What we did was turn the whole thing around. So we don't have a bot that answers questions, but rather one that asks questions.
In the ABBA project, AI for Business, Business for AI, we are looking very closely at how AI competences and AI literacy can be integrated into degree programs. With a modular structure, we have also developed various modules in which AI competences can be taught, and these are also publicly available as open educational resources. But it is also important to us that students, more generally, are introduced to the economic, social, and ethical questions surrounding AI, come into contact with these topics, and this should also happen in every module, in every single course.
AI in retail is a very useful product precisely because it is a complete course that you can use flexibly in many different contexts. You can start using it directly in the first semester, or you can start using it in the 6th semester. The biggest challenge is to bring it into widespread adoption. That is one of the major challenges, making it accessible to everyone, making it accessible to lecturers, making it accessible to students, so that truly everyone learns how to work with AI in a confident and responsible way.
It's necessary to integrate new elements into existing structures in a visible, connectable, and easily understandable manner, and without first starting a new accreditation process. This works because we proceed agilely, meaning in small steps, with an experimental mindset.
My primary vision is that students also play a role in contributing to the curriculum.
And I believe the key is to engage much more strongly in conversation with the students about why they are at university in the first place. What does really learning mean, and what do they want to take away from this study program? That's exactly what it comes down to. Fostering motivation, fostering orientation. How do I want to shape my own unique path? And then I can consider what AI can usefully contribute to it.
I would like to enable people even more in this AI journey, so that people grasp the opportunities that arise through AI. Of course, also take the risks into account, how we can actively and responsibly help shape our shared world with AI.
Agile study program development makes universities capable of acting in the AI age and beyond.